Welcome to Regulated-ish. Two moms, two cities, one frequency. This is our once a month space to talk about what life actually feels like in the middle of parenting, work, and nervous system overload. This isn't therapy and it's not a how-to show. It's just two real humans noticing what's showing up and trying to be a little kinder to ourselves while we do it. If something here helps you to feel less alone or a little more grounded, that's the point. Two moms regulating in real time so you don't have to do it alone. Welcome. This month we're slowing down inside long-term partnerships. Not like the highlight reels, not the early relationship happy chemistry, not the Instagram ready version of what marriage is. What it actually feels like when you've been with your partner for a long time and you keep choosing them, when the nervous system has changed throughout this relationship and life is now layered with stress, taking care of your parents, kids, careers, grief, growth. Closeness starts to look different when you've gone throughout that. So today we're talking about how to regulate within the relationship, how to talk about this, model it, and let you know you're not alone in it. Because sometimes safety and connection isn't like huge fireworks, Fabio on the cover of a book. Sometimes it's just nervous systems being calm with each other. Today, we're going to explore so we can try and stay on topic.
Yeah.
Difficult for the both of us. So we'll see how this goes. How long-term partnerships feel after many years, how the nervous system feels within those long-term partnerships.
How the nervous systems changed from the beginning, fireworks and butterflies all the time, to fast forward, we're together 22 years now, and you think we know everything about each other, and there's always something new or something that's developing.
And we'll do our real life check-in. We'll do our messy middle. We'll do our kindness moment where we're recognizing we're still learning, and then our soft landing and our goodbyes. And that is our attempt for today's podcast.
Give it a college try. We'll see how it goes.
Okay, so for our check-in, what feels different to you after you've been in this partnership as long as you have been?
It's always surprising to me how it feels both familiar and new at the same time recently. We as individuals have been putting work into ourselves so that we are our own regulated individuals. I've been doing a lot of therapy work trying to not fix myself, but like work with myself better about things. So I'm growing and we have to give each other a lot of grace some days to grow with each other. So while he's a very comfortable human for me and he's my favorite human, sometimes things feel new even at this point in time. So it does shake me sometimes that it's like, this is not how it used to be. And I was like, oh, it's nothing's how it used to be. And that's where I find myself being surprised a little more is, oh yeah, okay, if I'm changing and growing, then I would expect the same for him. He's got a lot more responsibilities. He's caring for an aging, ailing mother. He's got a lot more responsibilities at work. He's a department head. He's an important guy. You're being the important guy, and he's doing a great job of it. But there's a lot of individual growth going on. So there's a lot more together growth happening, too.
That makes sense. I mean, I still see my therapist. Sometimes I don't even have anything to talk about. There's a whole bunch to talk about, but I just always think it's good to have that neutral party to check. My wife has gone through therapy here and there, and it's been helpful. It does throw you sometimes when a person has a pattern, and it's not a healthy pattern, but it's what you've known for 10, 20 years. And then all of a sudden they do the healthy thing you've been asking them to do forever. And you're okay, now what?
It's okay. Now there's a new change to our approach here.
Is this going to last? Am I going to like this really? I've been asking for it so long now, I don't even know how to react to it. And it's, well, I asked for this. Why aren't I happier? It's just not my norm. And so it's getting it through my head. This has been our norm because we've been married 20 years together, 25 years. And so we have norms. And when she doesn't do the norm, it throws me.
There's some level of dysfunction in a relationship just because
Two humans together, not gonna
right, exactly. So that amount of dysfunction gets to be a lower amount of dysfunction. It's going to break. Oh, wait, hold on. This is what we've been working at and it's happening. So why isn't it? Oh, sunshine and daisies. It's to be okay. All right. Now roll with this one now.
It's weird, but nobody ever tells you that. And I always try when I'm working with somebody who's been in a long term relationship to give them that heads up. Like, you're going to want to go home and talk to your person because you're going to start to change. I'm not even going to notice it because it's small changes. The person you're with is going to notice it. And even if it's good, they're not going to know what to do with it because it's different.
It's different and it's new.
Give them a heads up. Want to talk to somebody just to figure out how to handle the differences. That still throws me. I'm a damn therapist, but it matter when it's within your world and your relationship. Your background has no meaning in that moment. You're just human.
I wrote down in my notes, giving each other grace for a disagreement and things. I'm changing to better myself. So I need to be gentle with myself. So then I have to turn around and extend that grace to him in the moments of where he's not necessarily taking in my changes easily because it is different. So it's, oh, okay, this is a different thing and he needs to like settle in and become, so I made this decision. Why can't you just be here with me? And it's not how that works. I was teasing my son the other day. I was like, why didn't you read my mind and do this thing that I was wanting you to do? He's like, because I'm not a mind reader, Mom. And we were 100% joking, but I do have to remember that nobody else knows what's going on in my head. So my expectations aren't always fair to the other half if they don't know what those expectations are.
Even if you've been together for decades, you can't assume they're reading your mind.
Right.
And I've ran into that where it's like we both had that expectation of, well, you should know better. And I was like, we're not going to say that to each other anymore because you know what? We still can't read minds.
So unless we're out here saying exactly what we're wanting to happen, there's no reason for anybody to expect you to know what. Well, why didn't you do the thing I wanted you to do, but I didn't tell you to do it? So there's no way you could have known I wanted you to do it. Why didn't you just do it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or why didn't you read the thought bubble in my head so I didn't have to say it out loud?
Yeah.
Communicate, damn
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. And then it falls back on me of like, well, I didn't say the thing, so I can't expect him to know the thing.
No.
Yeah.
And then I get even more frustrated.
Right. And that's where it's at. It's like there's a myth that it should be easy at this point in time. And it's like, there's things that are easy, but not everything is easy. Like marriage is hard work and they say it for a reason and it's work worth doing.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with saying marriage is hard work. I hear that sometimes from people as if it's like a bad thing. And I'm like,
Like it's a warning.
I mean, exercising is hard work. Learning any new skill is hard work. And to keep the skill, you have to repeat it. So, like,
Gotta practice the skill. Yeah.
why is that bad?
Yeah. It shouldn't be. It's like, it's not a bad thing. I don't know. It's like two sides of the same coin. It's like it could be viewed as a warning, but it could be viewed as like a piece of advice too. It's like, marriage is hard work, so don't walk into it thinking it's going to be easy and, everything is going to be just fantastic all the time, because nothing in life is. But also sometimes it feels like a warning. It's like, oh, are you sure you want to get married? It's a lot of hard work.
True. I guess it's
Yeah.
tone and how it's phrased.
Yeah.
Inflection or whatever
Yeah.
fancy terms are.
Yes.
So it sounds like we're going into the messy middle, which is what I'm trying to keep our brains on
Yeah.
track and talking about how the nervous system changes within relationships, right?
I think we covered that one. Maybe we talked about it already. I think our messy middle we wanted to do was, what expectation about long-term relationships have you let go of? We already covered that one too. So
Aren't we ahead of the king? We've done the messy middle. We talked about the nervous system and what to let go of.
we need to break up our flow a little bit. We need some little dams in our river.
The only thing I think I would add on for a messy middle with the nervous system, because I'm a therapist and I'm always thinking about this type of shit. So
Mhm.
this is where my brain goes. The concept that your nervous system, if it feels safe, then it's not like constantly like scanning, So it's not
Mhm.
like I have to be alert and scanning if you're finding me attractive or interesting or this or that. And so I'm not on high alert, which
Right.
sometimes it might come off as like I'm uninterested, but it's
Oh,
just because
yeah.
I feel safe and stable. And I don't think people understand that difference.
Yeah, like you know, being so comfortable around somebody that you're not on any sort of level orange alert can look like you're bored almost, but in reality, it's just you're so comfortable that you don't need to put up a defense because there is no reason to have a defense happening. So yeah, I can absolutely see why that would look, disinterested. But in reality, it's just like you are my comfortable place where I don't necessarily have to
Mhm.
be performing. I don't have to be, you know, entertaining you because that's what I feel that you need to me to be doing so that you don't walk out on me. Like, yeah, just a level of calmness, comfortability, comfort. I don't know what the right word is right now, but like,
Sounds good to me.
just so the serenity of just being with
Calm,
your person.
peaceful,
Yeah.
permanent.
Exactly. It's like we can sit around and not have a whole lot to talk about, but you're still the person I want to sit around with.
Right. And
Yeah.
I think that's something I didn't quite understand in the beginning.
Hmm.
When the dopamine isn't as strong and things aren't as new and the novelty of it. And now it's more, we have a pattern, we have safety, how to maintain that and be content with
Hmm.
that can be difficult, especially if you've done a lot of ups and downs in the beginning of relationship. So just kind
Yeah.
of like reaffirming to yourself your relationship, saying out loud to the person
Hmm.
that we're happy and safe and it's calm and this is good. Sometimes you got to just verbalize it.
Yeah. It almost sounds jokingly when we do it, but I will constantly and regularly tell my husband he's my favorite. Like in greeting cards and stuff like that, you're my favorite husband. And that could lead to like, well, I'm your only husband. I was like, yes, because I chose you to be my only husband. Like you're the one that I want going through this ridiculous, short time on earth with. Like I chose that. And it's not to say that you're my favorite by default. It's just you're my favorite. Like you are my person because I chose you that way. And he'll walk in from work and shout, "How's my favorite family?" And then the kids are like, "We're your only family." And then he says, "That you know of." And then we all laugh because there's no concern that there's an extra family out there somewhere.
Well, but I think that's an important reframe. I mean, you are checking in and letting each other know that,
Hmm.
yeah, we're not like crazy, passionate dopamine going nutty, but we also have that stability and secure attachment.
Yes.
And so, like, I would rather have this secure attachment, but to make everybody understand and feel good about it, you have to verbalize it and reaffirm that this is what I want, and I still want it.
Right. And it's almost exhausting in the beginning to try and like you feel like you're selling yourself to this person, like you're trying to convince them that like, oh, I'm the good choice here. So like it feels different in a long-term relationship that you don't have to like promote yourself so hard,
Mhm.
but it also runs the danger of looking like you're just being complacent and like, well, this is where we're at now, so there's no reason for me to promote myself. So like it's almost like you gotta decide, to
Yeah.
really affirm the other person that you're choosing this, you're wanting this.
No, but I think that's an important, like, expectation as we were talking about earlier. Like, let go of the expectation that it's always going to be like passionate and kissy kissy and hearts and everything, but also don't have no expectation, right?
Exactly. It's not like, well, we're just going to see where this goes. It's like, no, I want to have
Right.
you be
Be
a partner
intentional.
beginning. Yeah, I want you to be side by side with me on this journey, this path that we're on.
Yeah, like I want to be happy. I don't want to fight all the time. I don't want
Yeah.
drama, and sometimes couples will just like sabotage and do that to each other because then they can have the ups and downs of the roller coaster and make up and they think that's what passion is. And so they like create it when they don't need to.
Oh, that sounds exhausting to me. I don't want to.
It is
I don't want to
exhausting.
live that life.
It's
No.
job security for me, but
Yeah. No. It's
I'm okay if I'm out of a job one day.
yeah. It was it? I guess it in turn was also my job security for a long time too. It was like, so you're gonna fight, you're gonna call for help. I'm gonna send you some help. Like it was my job security, but I
Yeah,
sounds
911.
exhausting to be living in that like I I don't want to do it.
But if you grew up and your whoever your parents are or whatever relationship they had the longest and it was always a roller coaster up and down,
Uh-huh.
you think that's a norm. So when things are calm and steady, your nervous system says, "Wait a minute, this isn't normal.
Right.
I don't like this. Something's wrong." And then
Yeah.
your subconscious will self-sabotage and you'll throw something at each other and then there you go.
Yeah. And growing up, there were arguments, there were loud yellings and things like that. But then there was also the confirmation from my mom of like, nothing's going to change. We're not getting a divorce. Nothing's wrong. It's just sometimes we need to have things out. And, sometimes there needs to be an argument about things and then we'll be fine in a few hours. And so, like, that modeled behavior was healthy to see growing up. It's like we're literally being shown that not everything's perfect all the time, but we come back together when we work it out and then we choose to stay where we're at. We
Yeah,
continue
it
to
is weird
person.
though when you have a partner who's their experience with relationships growing up is like the opposite. Like when we
Yeah.
first got together, my wife would always joke and make fun of my parents and call them the beavers or something like that because it was like they don't argue, they don't fight. I'm
Oh,
like,
Judith Ward Cleaver.
oh, Cleaver, there you go.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was like, "No, they've fought. They've had some big fights. What are you talking about?" I'm like, "They're
Yeah.
just not fighting now, like, but they'll
Right.
disagree."
Hmm.
But she growing up, her mom was a single mom, so she just never really saw that, which didn't really dawn on me until we
Hmm.
got further in the relationship of like, "Well, why are you reacting this way?" And then I was like, "Oh, because you don't my norm isn't your norm." So,
Yeah. And I noticed some of those things too, as, my parents will be celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary this year. And Chris was raised by a single parent too. So, it's the relationship that his parents had was not the same as my parents had. So, like, it's still like things will still come up after we've been married. Oh, shoot, I'm going to do the math wrong. I think we just celebrated our 17th wedding anniversary, but we've been together since 2002. So late 2001, early 2002. So a very long time, like longer than we weren't together pretty much at this point in time.
mhm.
So again, getting back to like, we think we know everything about each other. And then it's like, oh, wait, that wasn't your same lived experience as a child as it is my same lived experience as a child. So it's just like, okay, I get it. And then that leads back to like giving a little bit of grace on some stuff. It's like, okay, I have to remember these things about you that aren't the same about me. So then I have to like dial some of my thought process back a little bit because I'm having well, why aren't you reading my mind thoughts of why didn't you just know this is how this is supposed to happen? Because I anticipate that he can recall back on my same experiences growing up. It's like, no, he wasn't there for that. So that's why it's like, it's frustrating is not the right word, but sometimes I get myself frustrated because I don't always remember these
Remember.
things in the moment. Like I'll get frustrated and I'll get mad and then I have to like dial it back and go, okay, right, all right. I remember this now.
It is hard though, because you'll start
Yeah.
just going forward and it's your pattern. And now you've established it with your kiddos. And then sometimes your partner's like, wait, what? No, we do it this way. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, wait, you have a different norm?
Yeah.
Huh. How do we make this work? And
Yeah.
it can throw you. It doesn't matter how
Yeah.
long you've been together. You're always learning something new and you can trigger each other.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
But then acknowledging what triggers you is a big growth moment where you're like, I didn't know that was one of my triggers until just right now when it set me off. And I started a big fight that we probably could have avoided by just me checking in with myself before I went off the deep end.
Some of my triggers didn't even come up until my kiddos got to certain ages
Uh-huh.
because it just wasn't like a topic or a thought pattern because of whatever age my kiddo was. And then as they've
Right.
gotten older and we've had to parent, I'm like, why is this such a big deal to you? And then I was like, oh, yeah, because at that age, you were having a very different experience than me at this age. So we have very different viewpoints of what a teenager is. And so
Right.
that's been interesting.
Yeah, almost like you can't relate to each other in the moment at that point in time. But then you sit back and you're like, okay, what I'm doing for them now is probably what I needed back then. So almost like you're righting a wrong retroactively.
Hmm. It is funny though how it'll come up like smooth sailing, and then all of a sudden you'll hit a speed bump, and you're like, "Why? Why is this a speed bump?"
Yeah, like this was never a speed bump before. Like, why is this here now? When, but I think it like my new trigger that we discovered recently was something that I had been working through with my therapist. So it was just like, oh, so this is new to me. So now it's new to both of us. And in the real time event of it taking place, I couldn't put my words together with it. I was just being irrational. I was just like, okay, so we're gonna table this. Let me process some of this and then we'll circle back and then we'll be able to talk it out, which we did. But it was just like that was new to me, so now it's new to us. So now we both know this and hopefully we can remember this and not necessarily hit that hot spot again.
It is nice being able to do that though. It's not easy, but compared to what it could have been, the yelling, oh, I'll take that any day.
Yeah, and I feel like that's one of the huge benefits for it happening like this long into our relationship. Like if we were, young and madly in love, it was all passion and stuff. Like if we hit that level of argument, there's what's to say it would have been like, oh, this relationship isn't for me. And then your whole world would have changed. But like, 20 years in, you're like, okay, we can discuss rationally and work with it. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that our prefrontal cortexes are fully formed now at this point in time, that we're not just living in the heat of things.
Which I've never understood that. If we all agree that you're not that your brain can't grow and there's not neural plasticity and all that stuff, but if your frontal cortex isn't to where it's at its best self until later 20s, why the hell are we making 18-year-olds pick what they want to do for the rest of their lives?
Because I think that is being forced on them by people whose prefrontal cortexes are firmed up and like wired. So they're like, you need to decide what you want to be doing so that you can get to this point where I am, where you're successful. But like making them do it at such a young age, like, 18-year-old, college freshmen, like pick your major right now. It does seem
It seems
bonkers.
re- well, I have a 17-year-old and we're looking at colleges. She has to apply in October, which is freaking me out, of next year because she'll be a senior. So, yeah, we're having to have these big conversations about during the summer what schools to visit, applications, ACT, SAT, you know, and she'll get kind of quiet. And I just have to keep like reminding her that yes, you'll be an adult, but that doesn't mean you have to leave my house yet because I don't
Uh-huh.
expect it. You can change. If you go to one college and you don't like it, we'll transfer you to another one. I'm like, you are
Right.
not stuck. You just tell mommy and we'll figure it out because you know what? Your frontal cortex is not ready for this shit. So I'm not going to expect it from you, especially after COVID. They took 2 years away.
Yeah.
Like, double
Everybody
not
was
fair.
stunted on that. Yeah.
So I'm like, we're going to take it slow. There is
Mhm.
no rush. You're not going to rush through college. You could do an extra year of college. I don't care.
And there's no wrong choice either. Like, it's
No, and it can
just
get
like not,
changed.
yeah, choices aren't permanent, they aren't forever. And if you really feel like you're going to get into something, then and you get there and you don't like it, then there's no harm in saying it. Like, I joke about my several semesters in culinary school, and I'm not a professional chef. It's like that wasn't my path I ended up on. So it was something that I thought was interesting to me, and I got there and I didn't like being told how to whisk the right way, and I was like, you know what, maybe this isn't for me.
I remember a conversation with you where you were so pissed because you couldn't wear nail polish, I think it was.
Oh yeah, like, and it makes sense, like, if you think about it as a food hygiene thing, but at like
But at
18,
18,
you're
you're
like,
like,
I'm trying to express myself and you're gonna make me take off. I think I had French tip acrylic nails, as it was very popular in the early 2000s. It's just like, I just paid good money for these nails, now I gotta go rip them all off. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
absolutely. And those are
I
things that
remember
should
that.
be,
That was hilarious. I was like, I can't believe they're making her take off her nails.
yeah, this is bullshit, man. But
Yeah.
to be fair, I get it now. And it's like, you don't want, under your nail gunk in the food you're eating. So
No,
it
but
makes sense. But when you
you're
are
not thinking that way at that age.
right,
So
the story stand out.
it just sticks with me. What can I say?
Yeah.
But this can lead very nice to our moment of kindness where we're still learning.
Yes.
I like that because
Hmm.
it goes into the mom thing. You know,
Yeah.
what would you say to a mom who thinks that they should have everything figured out with their partnership by now after they've been in for, 5, 10 years or longer, that things should be easier? And well, it's two people who are still trying to figure out how to regulate ourselves.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing, is like, you don't have your own self 100% figured out. So why would you expect to have a partnership of two separate individuals have it all figured out too? Like, it doesn't.
That doesn't make sense. And then you throw in aging parents, and if you choose to have kids, kiddos.
Uh-huh. Yeah. When relationships grow, responsibility grows, and responsibilities in like life and careers change and evolve too. So it's like there's a lot more spinning plates happening as you grow in a relationship, where it's absolutely worth all of the work to put into it to make all those plates spin. But there are so many people who just let some of the plates fall and expect the other person to clean up that mess. So it's like, you have to be aware that it's a partnership, not just one person's going to shoulder the weight.
Mhm.
But like, you're not doing all the work on your own, that you need to have sometimes uncomfortable conversations with your partner about expectations and realities and things like that. And
Yeah.
that
And that
what
it can change. Like, as you are married and you're going through different time periods in your life, what you need in your 20s is going to change in your 30s versus your 40s.
right.
You may have to renegotiate and talk about that.
Right, the division of labor that was set forth when you first, started keeping house together, to adding in three kids, a couple of dogs, several job promotions, and like a high need parent or something like that. It's like, we need to sit down and like almost annually renegotiate our contracts here.
No, I don't think that's a bad idea. I kind of like that. That's cute. We're renegotiating our contracts every year.
Yeah, it's like, so
I like
here's,
that instead of Valentine's Day. Don't give me chocolate, give me a raise.
give me one more household chore you're willing to take off my plate.
Yeah. Or an extra day at of downtime, of mom
Yeah.
time, me time, whatever it is.
Mhm. Yeah. And it's something that I think the struggle comes up because egos get in the way sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
And that's been one that I've been working actively on, is trying to keep my ego out of a lot of my personal opinions lately. And it's not easy, but it's something I've been actively trying to to encompass in my everyday thought process of like remove me from this, but how does for the big picture this function better or function differently?
Hmm. No, I mean, that's valid. It's hard though, because it's that fine line of I want to make sure I'm checking in with myself and I'm okay with whatever it is, but also that it's checking in with myself and not about me being right or getting my way, and
Correct.
making sure you're recognizing the difference there.
Yeah, and it's not always about what's fair, because sometimes you do have to give up things that you think are fair for the greater good. Sometimes you have to sort of backseat yourself a little bit, not a lot of it, but like you have to be able
Well,
to
but you got to
meet
take
place.
turns because we all
Right.
have different levels of like capacity
Uh-huh.
and bandwidth depending on whatever's going on in your life, right?
Yes.
And so
So
sometimes my bandwidth is non existent and I need my hun to take up the slack and then reverse.
right, yeah, like I've got a very busy week this week, so if you could please handle this and this for me instead of me handling it. But it's like that comes to one of my shortcomings, is like planning ahead. So it's just like I don't do that very well. I never have. So I'm learning to work on that for me so that it betters us.
Yeah, that makes sense. My wife is awful at planning ahead. That's something that is definitely always on my shoulders, but we do trade off, and it does. She's so much more flexible than me. So,
Mm.
like, there is a benefit to it.
Oh, with the flow changes.
Yes, she can go with the flow so much easier than I can. And I think it's because she's not having to plan the way I do. And so, yes, it's annoying sometimes when I'm doing all the planning, but also if something changes quick, I know I don't have to worry about her being upset about it. And so it's a fair trade-off.
Yeah, and it's a nice balance.
Hmm. Yeah. So any mom or wife or husband or partner or significant other out there, whoever the hell actually takes time to listen to our podcast, hopefully they take away at least that you're not supposed to have it all figured out. There's never
Oh,
a
absolutely
moment in
not.
time when you have it all figured out within a relationship.
And as soon as you think like you've got it figured out, something's going to change, and one little piece is going to move just even a little fraction, and it's going to require you to have to figure it out all over again, which almost leads me to think that having it all figured out is not the benefit that people make it sound like it is. Is like, because anytime you figure everything out, it's either going to change or it's going to be done.
Yeah, and that like that being rigid about
Mhm.
things like that psychological rigidness, it makes you miss opportunities, it makes you miss out on moments, and then it stops you from seeing other things, like other possibilities. And so
And
you
it
really
limits
got to be
your
flexible.
yeah, it limits your ability to grow with somebody if you're the one digging your heels in, saying, well, this is the way it needs to be for me. Okay, well, what about for them? Where are their needs being met on there too? So I think, the idea of figuring it all out is just not all it's cracked up to be.
No, and unnecessary pressure to put on oneself.
Uh-huh.
Especially if you're a mom, you got enough pressure on you. Don't add.
Yeah, I mean, parenting on either side is exhausting because there's just so much expected of you by these, smaller humans that haven't lived what you're living yet, and you're going through it. And we're in the thick of right now of a 12-year-old preteen girl who in her development of her mentality of mom and dad don't know what they're talking about. So everything like ends up being a standoff sometimes. And it's just like,
Mhm.
okay, I understand this is what's supposed to be happening, but it is so frustrating. So if you can't go to your partner, be like, look, this is what's going on right now, and I'm about to lose my mind. I need you to tag in and help me out here. Like, things change and things evolve as you go. So like what it was when you first got together is not what it is now that you're in it for the long haul. So it's just,
Mhm.
if it worked then and it doesn't work now, that doesn't mean things are broken. It just means that things are evolving.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I've had those moments. I've actually asked my daughter about a year ago. I was like, if I'm always wrong, why do you keep asking me? She just kind of stared at me. I was like, okay, so we're just gonna take a pause, both of us.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna take some deep
Mm-hmm.
breaths. But please, if you're just gonna tell me I'm wrong, don't ask me.
Yeah. I like to preface my conversations with mine with, okay, keeping in mind I was once a 12-year-old girl. Here's what I'm trying to explain to you. I didn't just land on the earth at 29, ma'am. Like I've lived what you're, I've lived similar to what was happening with you right now. Like I've been where you are. And while it's not the same, I've
Still,
been where you are.
yes, yes, cracks me up. Emma did that for a very long time, and I stopped responding for a little bit because I was like, "You're just gonna tell me I'm wrong."
Yeah. You're going to say no and you're going to be like, Mom, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, okay, all right.
We got to the point where Erica would like count down how long it took for her to tell me how wrong I was, and then she'd look at me and she'd go 5 seconds this time.
Stopwatch.
Yeah,
Well, that
she
was a
would
good
get
one. That was 12.
Emma would get so mad. She'd be like, "Oh," like all indignant. I was like, "We got to do something, or we're gonna lose our minds."
Yeah. We gotta bring a little bit of levity to this such girlfriend.
But that's
Yeah.
the fun, though, of being in a relationship so long is that you can do those things.
Yeah. You can have that sense of humor with each other that maybe you were too self conscious to have in the beginning. Like, I was not the weird girl then that I am now. It's like, I mean, I was, but I was stifling it. So sometimes I like to tell him, you signed up for this. He's like, I didn't sign up for this weird. I was like, well, tough shit, because you're stuck now.
Mhm. Yeah. Like, yeah, maybe I masked it a little in the beginning, but hey, it's too late.
Yeah, no, there's no returns. We've exceeded the 90-day return policy.
Which land goes perfect to our soft landing. We are killing it, keeping it on track. So
Go
first
on,
up, little habit
go on. Yes.
here, what's something small you're going to be carrying forward
Um,
as we're going through all these things and recognizing that, you know, connections, relationships evolve and there's growth and you don't have to show up perfect because that doesn't exist.
no, the one thing that I just all the time remind myself about is there isn't anybody else that I would want to be doing this with. Like I can't imagine like starting over with anybody because I'm so wonderfully and fantastically like in love with the person that I chose. Like it is absolutely worth all of the hard work and the arguments and the resolutions and the stress because there's nobody I would rather be doing this with than him. And
No.
hopefully he feels the same way.
Oh, I'm
He
sure it
does.
does.
But like I wouldn't want to be doing this with anybody else. Like if you think back on like anybody you dated beforehand, you're like, we would have never made it through half of what we've made it through. Chris and I made through. Like there's not in a million years would that other person have stood by me for, the infertility journey and, the high stress job because their egos would have been just like, well, you're not paying me enough attention. So I'm going to go find a girlfriend who will, you know,
Mhm.
pay all the attention that I need. So it's like, never in a million years would I choose to do this with anybody but him.
Well, that's a lovely place to leave that. I think what I'm going to carry forward is all the things you just said, but also I'm going to work on slowing down because if I don't respond super quick and I let her finish the sentence, generally turns out better. So
Yeah.
what I'm going to work on is slowing down. just because I'm thinking a mile a minute doesn't mean I have to respond immediately, because that doesn't help.
Right. And also gives you a minute to stop and consider your answer before you just give a quick yes or a no.
Yes. And it gives me permission to think about what I really want. So I think moving forward, especially since it's February and I'm tired and March is about to be all rainy, I think slowing down is not a bad idea before spring starts.
Yeah, because spring starts and then it's here for a hot minute, and then summertime of all the busy is going to pop up. But in the past 2 weeks, I battled a sinus infection and I've hit like my seasonal depression like super low. So I was telling this to Chris yesterday. I was like, I know that's what this is doing, and it feels real like lousy to be doing it right now, but I know that there's an end coming towards it. Like the light at the end of the tunnel is coming around. The weather's about to start getting nicer. There will be open windows and fresh air and sunlight, and I know that's what I need. But right now, I just have to like muddle through this mess that's going to be the next couple of weeks. I'm feeling hopeful, but I'm feeling like real blah about feeling hopeful. So being able to have that honesty with him now, I don't think I would be able to tell him that like even 5 years ago, to like admit to that's what's going on with me right now. So that's another nice perk to having such a long-term relationship, is that you can be that honest with your other half.
No, it is nice being able to call it out for what it is.
Yeah.
I don't normally get depressed. Mine's more anxiety. So I'll start to come out
Lucky
of
me.
the winter and I feel like I should be doing something. And then I'll
Oh,
create projects for myself in it. It's unnecessary work. So I just need to slow down.
yeah. There's a lot of things on my mental to-do list, but I don't put them on my physical to-do list
Oh, right.
because it ends up being overwhelming. Like I put a handful of things on my to-do list today, and it was the first to-do list I made in like 2 weeks. So I was like, all right, let's get back into this habit. Let's do it. So even though I'm not going to accomplish half of them, let's write them down and just kickstart my habit again. So I think I've accomplished 4 of those 6 or 7 things that were on my list today. So that was good.
Awesome.
But the key is add the easy stuff, like the home run stuff. Take a shower, check. Film the podcast, check. So like, it's all about setting yourself up the right way.
Very true. But podcast isn't simple. So you did get a big one done.
I did. Show up on time, check.
And we actually stayed within some topics.
We did. We stayed within syllabus and we covered everything we wanted to, and it flowed pretty nicely. So I think we're improving.
We're improving. Go podcasting regulated-ish moms.
Yay.
Props.
Go us.
We'll see the podcast people next March.
Yeah. Do we have our plans for March yet? Nope. All right. Well, let's figure out March when we're off the air.
Figure out March. Because we're taking it slow. Bye, podcast people.
Bye, listeners. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for spending this little pocket of time with us. If anything we talked about stirred something up, just remember you don't have to rush to fix it. Noticing it is enough work already. And if you ever want a few more gentle ways to settle your nervous system, that's what the Mind Circuit app is here for. Check it out in Apple Store and Google Play, and we'll meet you back here next month. And as always, please be kind to your wiring.